Hi, this is Laurie Foote. Today I'm going to lead you through a short workout. It's about 20 minutes and we're going to go through some exercises to challenge and improve your balance. So, did you know that the fear of falling is one huge hindrance that keeps people from doing things as they get older? So it's not actually falling, it's the fear of falling. And it's because we're not confident in our body's ability to catch us or compensate when we start to fall. So if we teach it what to do when it starts to have these feelings of falling, then we're going to be able to do everyday activities with a lot more confidence and a lot more strength, and it's going to improve what you're able to do in your daily life. So let's start off with some quick warm-up exercises. So we're going to do some neck circles just to get out those kinks. Good, just nice and easy, circle around one way and then the other. Good, if you notice any sticky spots or sore spots, you might want to spend a little extra time on them. Nice job. And then we can go with some wrist and ankle turns. So again, first one way and then the other. You can do whatever feels good here. You can do circles. You can move your wrists and ankles back and forth. You can also do some prayer stretches. So both up and down. Roll the wrist around, whatever's going to feel good and give you some motion in those joints. Going to wake up those muscles. Nice job. So I have a chair here, and I'm going to use this whenever I feel like I need a little extra help with balance. And so especially as we start and we kind of get our feet under us, we're going to use this while we do our warm-up. So I've got my hand on the chair and just swinging my leg back and forth, just exploring my range of motion. Good. You want to keep that standing foot grounded. And if you notice, my feet are bare. So we're doing that for a reason. It's so we can feel our base of support on the floor. So we're going to switch feet now. So as you're standing on the floor, try to notice the four corners of your feet and the points where they touch the floor. You can wiggle your toes, really feel that floor underneath you. So pay attention to how that feels. Good, so I'm just swinging back and forth. All right, now I'm gonna face my chair and I'm gonna swing my leg to the side. So if you can see, my toe is still pointed forward. So I'm just bringing the leg laterally up to the side. I'm not rotating it. So we don't want this action where the toe points to the side. We want the toe pointed straight ahead while the leg moves to the side. So you'll feel this right here in the side of your hip. Good, and now we can go to that other side. Nice. Good, same thing here. So just exploring that range of motion. Good, getting those legs used to moving. Good, so I'm gonna do a little work for the upper body because we'll be using that too. Good, so just some nice big circles. You might hear some creaking and cracking. A little noise is okay, but we don't want pain. So if you feel pain, kind of back it off. Good, and then go the other way. Nice. So these stretches and these exercises, we shouldn't feel pain. We might feel a little challenge or a little bit of discomfort, especially as you start to move. But as we keep moving, we shouldn't feel any pain. So pain is your signal that your body's telling you to stop. Good. All right, so bring your arms up like a goalpost, and we're just going to rotate one way and then the other. So if you feel unsteady doing this, you can definitely hold on and just twist your upper body. Good, we're just trying to get some movement in the waist here. Good, hips stay pointed forward and the rib cage is just turning side to side. Nice job. This time we're gonna go side to side, but laterally. So reach down one leg and then the other, and then we can add the arm overhead. Nice job. Super. So from here, you can put your hands on your chair. You could even stand next to a wall for this, or any kind of high table, just anything that's going to be sturdy for you to be able to use for balance. So we're not leaning on the chair. We've just got our fingertips on there, and it's there if we need it. So I'm going to do a little easy squat here. And I say easy because I'm not going too deep into it. I'm just going to keep my weight in my heels. Remember, feeling the floor underneath me. I can feel the floor with all my 10 toes, the balls of my feet and my heels. And I'm just going to sink down, just like there's a chair behind me, and I'm sitting in the chair. Nice. So if you feel a little more comfortable, you can go a little farther down. Okay, so just exploring that range of motion again. Nice, yeah. And as we warm up, those knees may loosen up a little bit too. And you might be able to go a little bit farther down. All right, so some of you may be noticing that your heels want to lift up at the bottom. So we want to keep the heels firmly on the ground. We want to keep the weight in the heels. The next thing we're going to work on is going to address that issue, because what happens with us a lot is that our calves become very tight. So if the calves are tight, they're not going to want us to go down very far. They're going to want us to raise our heels. So what we can do for that is some stretches for the calves. So I'm going to take one foot back, push that heel down towards the floor, and then switch. So nice, easy stretches. Good, so really straighten that back leg and push that heel down towards the floor. Just alternating your feet. And make sure you're stepping back far enough for you to feel the stretch. Nice. So you should feel it in your calf, and you might feel it a little bit higher, maybe behind your knee as well, depending on how much you're stretching and how flexible you are. Good, so it's real important to have flexible calves for those to be limber, because think about how much walking you do or could do or should do throughout the day. And they're going through a lot, so we need to make sure that we give them lots of attention. All right, so that's giving them a little stretch. Now we're going to work on strengthening. Again, you can keep your hands on your chair for balance. And what we're going to do is, again, think about your feet touching the floor, all 10 toes, the balls of your feet, and the heels. And we're going to come up on our toes and then bring the heels back down. So just up on the toes, bring the heels back down. Nice and easy. Good. So when you go up on the toes, your calves are going to be contracting. So you might feel the calves working. Good. Nice job. So we're strengthening those calves. Think about when you would be doing this motion. So basically every time you take a step, one of your calves is doing this motion. And then when you're going upstairs, it's even more pronounced. So we need those calves to be nice and strong. And that's why we also need to stretch them out. Excellent. So let's do a couple of those stretches again. So I'm going to step back. Good. And I want to make sure I'm not leaning on this chair. I'm right? We're not using it for the exercise, we're just using it for a little bit of balance. Good, and now I can even feel that stretch even more since I just worked those muscles. Okay, so now we're gonna do the calf raises, but this time we're gonna also add a toe raise. So I'm gonna come up on my toes and then up on my heels. So I'm pulling those toes back and up. So this you'll feel in your shins and maybe in the feet themselves. So a lot of us don't do this movement very much. And so our shins are very weak. So this is gonna strengthen those shins. Now when do we need this? Okay, so every time we take a step, we should be lifting our toes as the first part of the motion. But sometimes we get in the habit of dragging those feet or just kind of lifting them without picking up the toes. So this is what I mean. So when we take a step, we want to lift the toes, right? And then step forward. But sometimes, if we don't have strong enough shins, we let the toes drop. So we just kind of lift from the hip and we walk sort of like a soldier. So not moving our feet, right? We don't lift that toe. So if there's anything on the ground in front of you, it makes it easier to trip if you don't lift that toe up. So we just want to make sure we get clearance, or even if you have a kind of a thick rug, you might catch your toe if you don't lift it up. So that's where we need that motion. All right, great job so far. So another thing that we want to work on is weight shifting. So when do we do weight shifting? Anytime we want to move from one place to another. So anytime we take a step, we're shifting our weight from one foot to another. Anytime we're doing any kind of movement, we're weight shifting. So oftentimes we get stuck in our own ruts and we rush through movements. We don't take as much care, or we get a little bit lazy. And what we want to do is slow down those movements and really get comfortable through the whole range of motion. So at any point we can stop. At any point we can, speed up or slow down, and we're still comfortable in that movement. So first we're just gonna practice some side-to-side weight shifting. So feet a little bit farther than shoulder width apart. And all we're gonna do is basically shift our weight from one side to the other. And I'm picking up my heel on the foot that is not carrying the weight. And then eventually, I'm gonna pick up that foot off the ground completely. So don't rush here. You don't wanna be falling from side to side, okay? One thing you can do, if you're not really steady on your feet, is use that chair again. So you can have your hands on the chair, and we're just going side to side, and then we can stop the motion, okay? Stop, stand on one leg. Good, and then do a couple more steps, side to side, and then we're gonna stop on the other foot. Stop and stand in balance. Okay, so this might be very easy for you. It might be a little more difficult. You might need to be touching the chair the whole time. You might not be able to balance on one foot, right? So that tells you where you need to spend some time. So let's balance on one foot. Good, and then take a couple more steps, and then balance on the other foot. Good, let's do that again, couple more steps. Balance on the first foot. Good, and then a couple more steps, and then balance on the other one. Nice. So you can spend some time doing this. If this is something that is really challenging for you, maybe you need to spend a little bit more time. Okay, so this is one thing you can do just to get comfortable with weight shifting. The next way that we're gonna practice weight shifting is forward and back. So I'm just gonna pick my left leg, and I'm gonna anchor that down for right now, and I'm gonna take a step forward, and then I'm shifting my weight to my right leg. So the heel of my left foot is up. I'm gonna take a step back on my left foot, and then back on my right. Okay, so now my weight is on my right leg. Okay, and then I'm going to take a step on my left foot, forward with the right, and then back. Good. So that left foot is staying in place, but I'm just shifting my weight from the left foot to the right as I step forward, and then from the left to the right again as I step back. Good. And again, my chair is always here if I feel like I need to put my hand on it for a balance. Great job. So now I'm going to stop and hold my right foot up. Good. And then I'm going to shift my weight back and hold my left foot up. Good. So it can be a challenge. So let's shift our weight back to our left. Hold our right foot up. And then the right foot, hold the left foot up. Good. One more time, back and forward. So left foot, hold that right foot up. Oh, see, I needed to use my chair. And then shift your weight onto the right foot, hold the left foot up. Good. One more time, forward. Left foot. Good. And right foot. Nice job. So now let's anchor that right foot and we'll step forward and back with the left. So I'm just going to take a little step forward and then a little step back. So shifting my weight from my right foot back to my left, and then on my right foot and forwards on my right, or on my left. Do what I'm doing, not what I'm saying. Good. And now I can lift up that foot. Good. So weight's on my right foot, lift the left. Step back with the left, lift up the right. Good. Step on the right, lift up the left. Step forward with the left, lift up the right. Good. One more time, back. And back with the left. Good. Nice job. So again, if you have trouble with this, you can slow it down, right? You can spend some more time with what you're having trouble with, right? Like maybe not lifting the foot all the way off the floor, but maybe spending some more time just shifting the weight. Nice job. All right, you got it. So another thing we're going to practice is finding the edge of your balance. So as I'm standing right here, and I'm feeling my feet on the floor, so all 10 toes, my heels, and the balls of my feet. I'm not standing perfectly still. As we keep our balance and as gravity is pulling on us, we're making little micro adjustments all the time to be able to stand up. So these become so automatic that we don't even know that we're doing them. But we're always just moving slightly to compensate for any kind of changes in balance. So what I want you to do is to think about leaning forward just a little bit from your ankles. So all we're going to move is our ankles here. So I'm leaning forward just a little bit. I can feel my toes grip the floor as I do that to kind of right me, okay? And then I'm going to shift backwards just a little bit. And I feel my kneecaps tighten in order to stop that motion. So I'm going to do this a couple times, forward and back. So it's just a small motion. I'm not moving very much at all. But it's my ankles and my calves and all the muscles in the lower legs that's keeping me upright even as I'm swaying back and forth. You can do this side to side too. So just test kind of what it feels like to shift your weight and lean to the side. And feel what your feet and your ankles and your calves are doing as you do that to compensate for that motion. Nice job. Good. Again, you might not be able to move that far, and that's fine, right? We just want to kind of get used to feeling that edge of balance. So When we have a little bit more motion and we're a little bit more off balance, we use some different strategies. So instead of just moving your feet and your ankles and your calves to compensate for for a slight change in balance, if you are going to be a little more off balance, like let's say I'm going to reach for something, then you're going to use your knees and your hips more to compensate, or we should use our knees and our hips more to compensate, right? So if I'm going to reach for something, let's say I'm going to reach for something in front of me, I'm going to bend at the waist and I'm going to bend my knees a little bit, and this keeps me from falling. So if I tried to reach and I didn't bend any of those things, I would just fall over. So let's practice that a little bit. So let's reach forward, and then let's reach to the side, okay? And then let's even reach back like we're trying to grab something off the table behind us. And then we'll go with the other arm. Let's reach forward. You can reach to the side, watch your chair, and then reach back, okay? So we can do all those things without falling because we are compensating with our knees and our hips. So a good strategy to use when you feel like you're about to lose your balance and about to fall is just to bend your knees, okay? So this is really effective in sports, and at the very least what's going to happen is you'll be closer to the ground if you do fall. So that's a great way, a great thing to practice, right? So even we can go back to that swaying back and forth, and if you go a little too far, we can always bend those knees, and then that stops that motion pretty much right away, and it lets you regain your balance again. Okay, so that's a good thing to practice too. Let your body get used to feeling what it needs to do when you might be losing your balance, you might be about to fall, okay? All right, so I hope that these strategies will help you. Work on them, practice them, figure out what you're not comfortable with and what you maybe need to work on, and then you'll be surprised if you work on them consistently, just a few minutes a day, how much better your balance becomes. Thanks for watching.